Drank some coffee, went snowboarding all day. We were partying a little bit that night. Then it just got bad. I was like throwing up, dehydrated, felt like shit.
Started his account in the early days of the platform.
Hooked it up that I wasn't gonna be able to fly, and so I ended up telling him look, I'm a medic in the military, which it wasn't, right?
If you're keeping up with current events and news on celebrities, you've probably heard of Dan Bilzerian. The name has made headlines quite a few times over the past few years, and it's made headlines again recently. Dan Bilzerian is most famous for being an internet personality and a high-profile gambler, but he also founded Ignite, which he wanted to position as a global cannabis brand and use to change the cannabis industry as we know it. However, he is once again in hot water. The company has reportedly burned through over $50 million, and the company's former president, Heffernan, filed a lawsuit against him, accusing him of using Ignite's funds for his own personal expenses. Now sit back, relax, and watch how Dan Bilzerian spends Ignite's millions on his lifestyle. To find out just who Dan Bilzerian is and how he spends millions of dollars on his lifestyle, which is allegedly taken from Ignite. This is Business Explained. To learn more about all things money, get educated about how to do business, become business savvy, and enjoy more videos like these, subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell, and may you be granted with many, many sweet returns. So before we delve into this whole business between Dan Bilzerian, Ignite, and his lawsuit, let's first talk about who Dan Bilzerian is. Dan Bilzerian, born Daniel Brandon Bilzerian, was born on December 7, 1980 in Tampa, Florida. He's the son of Paul Bilzerian, an American businessman and corporate takeover specialist, and Terry Steffen. His brother is poker player Adam Bilzerian. His family made their fortune through his father, Paul, who set up trust funds for both Dan and Adam. Dan enrolled in the University of Florida to major in business and criminology. He first rose to prominence as a poker player. According to an article by the Wall Street Journal by Brad Regan titled Dan Bilzerian's Life of Partying and Poker, there was actually little known about Dan Bilzerian in 2007. He simply showed up one day in a casino in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, allegedly carrying a suitcase that was filled with cash. According to other players who were there at the time, he came looking for a poker game. Since then, Dan Bilzerian rose from doing small games with lower bets to games with much, much higher stakes, with numbers that rose up to the 7 figures. In 2009, Dan Bilzerian played in the World Series of Poker main event, and he finished in the 180th place. After this, he was featured in a whole slew of news reports involving scandals with other high-profile people. Currently, he has an estimated net worth of $200 million, and he isn't afraid to flaunt what he's got. So now that we've got his background down, what is happening with Dan Bilzerian now? Well, if you want to find out about what is going on in his life, you simply need to check out his Instagram. He has been dubbed by his fans as the king of Instagram, and with good reason. The guy has over 32.1 million followers, and every single one of his photos shows him living the high life, partying at the most luxurious places, cozying up to a bevy of beautiful girls, taking trips on private jets and yachts, and basically living the dream. If you want an example of the lifestyles of the rich and the famous, Dan Bilzerian is the embodiment of saying, if you've got it, flaunt it. Oh, and did I mention that in 2017, he set up his own cannabis company called Ignite? Let's take a closer look at that. According to the company's website, it was initially set up to be a catalyst of change in the cannabis industry and gain legitimacy as the first premium global cannabis brand. And for a while, it did just that. However, the company decided to shift its direction and focus on becoming the world's leading global lifestyle brand. What does that mean? Well, basically it means that every single product or service that the brand will be producing would be all about promoting a particular lifestyle. According to the Ignite website, Dan Bilzerian involves himself in picking out every single product that Ignite puts on the market. To quote the website, Ignite was founded as a premium brand for discerning people who are most concerned with substance over promise. That promise is still true and apparent in all what we do. We're committed to delivering the world's best products, period. Plain and simple. If it's not exceptional, you won't see the Ignite name on it. Sounds promising, right? But recently, Bilzerian found himself in the center of controversy when many reports surfaced that he burnt through over $50 million in 1 year alone. According to the Canadian Stock Exchange, Ignite reported a whopping $67 million in losses in 2019. Where did it go? Nobody really knows. According to one article, Ignite was able to raise funds in two ways during that time, through issuing and selling shares of the company stock and raising money through debt. Ignite reported to have earned roughly $25 million from distributing shares, $19.9 million from debt, and $23.7 million in IOUs. To make the long story short, the company made money by pooling a lot of other people's money. They used this money to run Ignite and continue to purchase and develop products for it even when it wasn't really doing so well in the market, worldwide, with Ignite products sold in different stores across the globe. In order to keep up with its thrust of being a lifestyle brand, Ignite hosted all sorts of events and parties that cost a heck of a lot of cash. The company reportedly lost $43 million on operational costs, salaries, office leases, marketing, and promotion. It's not uncommon for startups to lose a lot of money at the beginning, but it is uncommon how much money it dropped in less than a year. It was alarming that the company's budget for marketing and promotion or hosting all its lavish events was a grand total of $22.26 million, and it was more than double of what it was actually able to earn. His ex-employee, a man named Curtis Heffernan, hit Bilzerian with a lawsuit claiming some pretty radical stuff. First off, he claimed that Dan Bilzerian was using Ignite's company funds to pay for his lavish lifestyle and fired Heffernan for refusing to sign off on his expenses. Secondly, it calls out Bilzerian for being a renter, which, by the way, isn't a bad thing, but it does not exactly line up with the image of being a multimillionaire, with the means to buy anything and everything they wanted. Heffernan was actually Ignite's former president and worked closely with Bilzerian in running the brand. Heffernan had seen Bilzerian drop Ignite funds on quite a number of outrageous purchases. Bilzerian had allegedly spent $75,000 on a paintball field, $60,000 on a Star Wars-themed gun set, $40,000 on a rock climbing wall, $50,000 on a bed frame, $31,000 on a pool, and $50,000 on a ping pong table, among other things. Bilzerian had even reportedly spent over $130,000 on a photo shoot in the Bahamas. Heffernan reported that the company was spending a ton of dough on rentals for luxury vehicles, and he also discovered a whole lot of other miscellaneous expenses which just happened to be payments for household items and groceries. Bilzerian reportedly chalked all these expenses up as business expenses, which Heffernan refused to agree to. As a result, Bilzerian fired him. To add insult to injury, Bilzerian accused Heffernan of doing drugs. Heffernan was fired from Ignite on June 8, 2020. However, that's not all. The lawsuit claimed that Bilzerian was expecting the company to pay for his rent, which was a whopping $200,000 a month. Heffernan also claimed that Bilzerian was charging his lavish lifestyle to a credit card that he is not paying for. Heffernan is not alone in his claim. Various other Ignite employees confirmed the allegations. Apparently, everything that Bilzerian does is paid for by Ignite. He would simply claim that whatever it was he was doing was affiliated with Ignite and it would automatically be counted as a business expense. Analysts are suggesting that Ignite would go belly up in a couple of years, and with the pandemic, its growth has slowed even further. In mid-July 2020, Dan Bilzerian moved out of his $200,000 a month mansion. The property is 31,000 square feet and features 12 bedrooms, 21 bathrooms, and an infinity pool and a private gym, among other amenities. He was reportedly behind in rent, but his landowner cut him some slack because of the pandemic. Now the mansion is on the market. Currently, the case against Dan Bilzerian is still going. As for the verdict, we will just have to wait and see. What are your thoughts on Dan Bilzerian's lavish lifestyle? Do you think that he really partied away Ignite's funds? How do you think the future will go for Ignite? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. I'll be responding to all of you who comment within the first hour. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely watch my video called The Future of Traveling Explained. Picture this. You're lying in the sand on a beautiful beach in the Bahamas, sipping a cold drink. Or you're walking the streets of Paris, eating a beautifully crafted French pastry, or even exploring the wondrous ruins of Cambodia. That's the amazing thing about traveling. It exposes you to a world of new sights and cultures, and it just leaves you completely in awe of the universe around you. However, we might have to put a pause on all our travel plans for at least 2 more years. Watch The Future of Traveling Explained to get a glimpse of the future and how traveling might play out through the next few years. The travel industry has been one of the hardest hit industries of the pandemic, and while the future is uncertain, there is still hope. Stay tuned, stay educated.